What's up? Welcome to the third part of the calculate client hash or calculate client security hash video tutorial. Uh, Based on our last activity, we created extract work item, which extract all the work items from the Acme System 1. So one thing I forget on this activity is to change this data table. So by default, it will create an extract data table variable. So what we need here is an argument. So I will create an out dt work items. Make sure that that's under out direction, and then now let's change that variable to dt work items. Oops. Okay, it's a string, so make sure that it's a data table. So again, search for the data table and make sure that the data table you will select is under system.data, and it should be good. Make sure to save that. Okay, the next thing is to open the main workflow, which is this, and on the init workflow we need to locate the invoke kill all processes. I believe that is here. So this one, kill all processes. So we need to add a new sequence below this one. So go to activities and add a sequence. So this sequence will read the transaction data, and we need to invoke the workflows we created earlier. So first one is the system1 login, then navigate to work items, then extract work item, and then system1 close. So make sure to invoke these 4 workflows in order. So you can also see that on the PDF file. And make sure to import and bind all the arguments. So to check that, click import. So here need to put config. Don't forget to string, that is a requirement. And work items is no. Okay, here we have a dt work item. So since we have a global variable transaction data, I will just use this one to catch the value on of the dt work items. So make sure that when you use a variable, make sure that it's on the same type of the argument. Okay, so I think we're good on that. And now we need to filter the work items to only capture those with a type WI5. So how to do that is by using an assign activity. So here let's put, okay, I think we need to create a new variable. Let's just copy what's on the PDF. I will call it WI list. And it should be a data table. So here, let's use that variable. And then here on the value, it's indicated on the PDF file. We'll use the select, and then here's the filter. It should be WI5. And status should be open. Okay, so we have an error. What is that? So WI list should be a data row. Let's check that. If it's not, I think it's an array of data row. What's the error? Yeah, it should be an array of data row. So how to do that? Select for array of T and look for the data row. Yeah, error is gone now. So what's the next? Okay, so since we will be using an array, we need to set the transaction number to 0 because array starts at index 0. Make sure not to forget this. And save. Now let's open the get transaction data. We need to add an input arguments for the work items. Let's say DD work items. And since this will catch the value we just created earlier, or the filter result, it should be of the same data type. So if we have an error, let's just change it later. Okay. So now we need to change this condition to in transaction number less than or equals to in or no dt or work items that count. And then here we need to change it to out transaction item, and then dt work items, yeah. And then the transaction ID, let's change this to transaction ID. And this should be to string. And with what did I Okay, let's delete this one. And here, we need to set transaction item into nothing if there's no more transaction to process or item to process. So after that, I think we can now perform new test. So go to the main workflow and let's try. Let's check. Yeah, there's no error. Now let's try to run it. Okay, what's happening now? Wait, let me check the studio. Where's the output panel? Oh, we had an error. Yeah, I think we can now stop it. So the error comes on the closing the application. So here in the system1.close, since what we attach is the dashboard, and it can find any dashboard here because it's a work item, and sometimes we cannot secure that because we will be calling the system1.close workflow from different sequence. So the best thing to do is to change this dashboard to asterisk. It's a wild card, so any any web page title that contains this word will be captured. Yeah, later we will be testing that again. So save that. Now we need to develop the workflow to process the work items. So we need to create another blank sequence. Make sure to save that within the system1 folder. Now let's name this system1 navigate to work item details. And here, if you can notice, if you open one work item, you can see that there is a pattern with the URL, so we will be using that. So first we need to create two in arguments. First one is the system1 URL, and the other one is for the work ID, work item ID. Make sure that it's an int32 argument type. Now we need to add activity that navigate to. Okay, I think I need to add attached browser. Let me delete that first, and let's look for the attached browser. Let me use this page, and let's change this to a wildcard, and then let's do navigate. And this is the formula for the URL. So it's an int32, so you need to convert it to string. Then let's create a new blank sequence, and again save it within the system1 folder. Let's name it system1 extract client information. And here we need 3 output argument, 1 for the client ID, 1 for the client name, and another one for the client country. So let's simulate it manually. Make sure that when you test, you use a UiPath work item activity. So here we need to use attached browser. So I think there's no need to change the selector, because we know that it's always on the work item page before we start getting the text or getting this information. Now we'll add the get text. So we need to capture this. So let's save the result to a variable client information. Now from that result, we need to capture the client ID alone, the client name, and the client country. And to do that, so let's start with the client ID. So let's use a sign. And then here on the value, make sure to follow this. There are other ways to do string manipulation, but this is the same with what is on the UiPath instruction. After you completed, you will only see this after you completed the the project. So client information, that substring client information, that index of client ID plus client ID, that length, and then that split environment, that new line, that to car ray and 0. Okay, so let me just copy these. I will just post it on the description section of this video. So we need another one for the client name. So here, let's paste it on the value, and then for the client name, need to use this one. Copy that, then change this, yeah, only those two. And then let's have another one for the country. Then on the value, let's copy the country. Okay, so now to test if it works, let's use a write line activity. Then let's try to print all those values. So let's just try client ID, and client country. So we can test it right now. Let's try. Okay, where's the output funnel? So this is what the tool captured. So, or the bot, what the bot captured, and it's correct. Yeah. Okay, so after that, what we need to do next is open the process workflow. So save this and open the process workflow. So we need to first invoke the system1 navigate to work item details and bind the arguments. So here is config and then for the work item ID, okay, so it should be the transaction ID. So it's not showing yet. Wait, let me just save this one first. It's not showing because oh no. Here, yeah, in here we need to add another argument inside the process workflow, because as you can see here, the transaction ID is available or accessible on a general business scope. So we need to add another argument here. let's use in work items or WIID. Should be okay, it should be an int. Save it, and now here on the main workflow, on the import, let's assign whatever the value of the transaction ID. Oh, there's an error. Oh, because it's a string. So we need to convert it to string or to integer. So to convert, just use cin, convert to integer, and we should be good. Now we can use that. Alright. Oops. Now we need to invoke the system1 extract client information, and we need to assign new local variable for this output argument. So let's just copy the same name, client ID, client name, oh, and client country. So let's check those local variable. Yes, we have that. Okay, so I think we have a lot of workflow created on this video, so let's continue the next sequences or workflows on the next video. Thank you for watching, guys.